we're going to talk about the IS words. Can you guess what I'm talking about? Imposter syndrome. I know it can sound like it's an overused phrase, but it's a real thing and it happens to us on a daily basis. And as somebody who is not only an expert, a thought leader, a coach, a consultant, but a human being, I have it all of the time. And so I hope that this resonates with you if you feel like you're in this space where should I ask for more money? Should I show up on social media? Should I do a live video to connect more with my perfect ideal clients? Should I make that phone call? Should I send that email? Should I send that text, right? All of these questions that we put into our head are typically because we have imposter syndrome. And many times we don't take action that we need to do because of that. So, if you are brand new to my personal profile or even over on Stylishly Branding, where this is also streaming, hello and welcome. And if we've never met before, my name is Gina Tassinelli. I am the creator of Stylishly Branding, which is a division of our social media marketing agency, Hype Media. And we work with service-based, established entrepreneurs, experts, thought leaders, coaches, consultants to help you show up unapologetically on social media, but with a simple method. So you're not spending wasted and countless hours on social and it's actually working for you. And so we do this as an agency for many clients where we take over all of your marketing and we coach you on the places that you need to actually show up, but everything else we do for you, or through my Done With You incubator. And so, as an expert myself, and the fact that I'm saying the word expert, I'm going to tell you something. It has taken me years to actually say that word. And so I want to share with you 9 ways to help you overcome imposter syndrome if this is something that you go through. And I still go through this all the time, especially as I am in a position right now where we have a team, but I'm bringing on new team members. I'm taking on more clients. I'm also rebranding myself. There's a whole rebranding refresh that we're in the middle of doing that is so exciting. And during that process, there's a lot of really deep questions that I'm having to answer to myself, to my amazing coaches, and it's a little scary. So I want you to know if you're newer to business or even if you're established, because I work with many established business owners, this is something that still creeps up in people. And so I hope that you take these 9 ways and they help you move forward. And by the way, if you're watching this over on the Stylishly or on my personal profile, move on over to the Stylishly Branding page, because when you watch it from there, you actually will get today's show notes. Okay. So make sure to head over there. Just go into Facebook. Obviously, you're on Facebook. Go to the search bar and type in Stylishly Branding, and the page should pop up. There's 9 different ways to help you cope with this, but I have to tell you the very first thing that I'm going to share with you is something that we know, but we may not want to actually accept many times. Okay? And that is just being aware of the signs that this is creeping up on you. And here's some things that are right away will tell you if you're going through this whole imposter syndrome moment and maybe you're overlooking it. Okay. So if you say to yourself, say you just landed a new deal and you say to yourself, I just got lucky. No, you didn't. You didn't get lucky. That is all the hard work that you have put into your business. It's all of the the skills that you've learned, all of the experiences. So it's not about luck. You're actually designing your future. Have you ever said to yourself, or actually, have you ever apologized to yourself when you did something wrong. So I do things wrong constantly. I mean, honestly, we all do. And the best thing to do is actually to learn from them, right? But we do, especially us as high performers, which many of us as entrepreneurs and experts are, we are high performers. And if we do something wrong, because we have these high standards, we put ourselves down. So give yourself some grace. What if you have this fear of failure and what it does is it paralyzes you, it doesn't move you? Or maybe you feel that you avoid expressing your confidence because you think people are going to see you as cocky, maybe obnoxious. This is something that I struggled with for a very long time, especially as somebody that is so passionate about teaching others about how to show up with influence as a personal brand. And so the reason why I'm so passionate about that is because it took me so long to actually show up with confidence, but in a way that's not to be obnoxious. And so if you feel like you're being obnoxious, you're getting in your own way. You're not being obnoxious. The only way that people are going to know about you, know what value you can bring to the table, know how you can help them is by actually expressing what you do and expressing yourself as the expert that you are. So, those are some things to pay attention to. So that's number one, is know the signs. Number two, I want you to know that you are not alone. I just explained to you. I mean, I still, this is always a work in progress as an expert, as an entrepreneur, consultant, a coach. You're definitely not alone. The most important thing is to find the encouragement when you feel like this is creeping up on you. That's the best way to cope with it. You know, make sure that you are in communities with other peers that are going through the same thing. Especially as entrepreneurs, it's really difficult for our own family members, our spouses, your partners, family, to relate to you as on the entrepreneurial side, because many times they are also not entrepreneurs. They're not an entrepreneur, so it's a little difficult. For example, my dad can probably really relate with me because he's owned his own businesses, but my mom may not be able to relate so much, although she lived through my dad's businesses. But it's just different. So you want to make sure to put yourself in connection, in communities, networking places with people that are also in that same going through that same journey with you. And that's really going to help you. Number three is, this is a really good one. So distinguish between humility and fear. And this is something that I really struggled with a lot, because you may feel like you are worthy and you feel entitled for things to happen to you or happen for you. But when they don't happen, you have this imposter syndrome that creeps up. And so we need to be more gracious with ourselves and be open to being humble and understand that just because we expect something to happen a certain way and it doesn't happen, it doesn't mean that you're not good enough. It doesn't mean that things don't work. It means we need a little bit more patience and to understand that just because we're in business, and especially for us just starting out, things don't happen overnight. What you see on social media, especially when there's all of these, experts and other coaches and business owners saying, find out how my client made 100,000 in 60 days, right? Now, I'm not saying that these things don't happen, but we also don't know the backstory of what led that to happen. There's a lot of things, a lot of years, a lot of testing, a lot of learning, a lot of different experiences, a lot of connections that people make years prior that maybe, yeah, now within 60 days they made 100K, but it really doesn't just happen overnight. So, and that is something that it's just something to be aware of. And I find this a lot, especially with my own clients that are amazing. And many of them, like I said, are established. But when something doesn't click right away, there is this sense of humility versus fear. And so just having a good balance between those two is really, really necessary. Okay, number 4. This is another one that still is tough for me. I'm getting better at it, but let go of feeling like you have to be perfect at everything. Now, when it comes to my business, this is where it's been more challenging for me. And it's because, we also want to show up with credibility. We want to show up as the expert that we are, and that's okay, but it's also okay to show up that we are just real people going through life just as everybody else. And so not everything is going to be perfect. And this sense of having to feel like everything has to be perfect and in place also paralyzes us and stops us from moving forward in our own business. It stops us from scheduling posts. It stops us from going live. It stops us from doing reels, for example. So, if you want to do things in your business on social media and use the social media marketing tools that are out there, that are trending, that are really going to gain you reach and a new audience, if you feel that everything has to be perfect and you need to learn all of it before you do it, you're going to miss out. And it doesn't have to be perfect. And that's kind of the cool thing now about where social media is going, is the less perfect, the better. I can't tell you how many times I have to re-record a video when I have to actually record it because of all the mess ups I make. Whereas if I go live like I'm doing right now, I've had instances where my lamp falls on top of me. I don't just stop it. Or if nobody's watching, I don't just stop it. It's live. It's meant to be real and raw and authentic. And that is totally okay, because that's how people are really going to connect with us more on a human level. Number 5 is be kind to you. So it's time that we take the pressure off of ourselves, even us as experts. Be kind to yourself. Give yourself grace, like I said a few moments ago, and celebrate even the small wins. I have been, as a high performance personality, I have always been the type where I haven't stopped and taken a second to really just celebrate even the smallest win. So today I was in a meeting with some peers, and I celebrated that we just onboarded an executive assistant who is amazing, Dina. And literally in 4 days that she's been on, she has been so amazing. But it sounds weird for me to even say that I have onboarded an executive assistant, which, is a right-hand person, somebody to really monitor our team and to respond to my emails and actually go into my own emails and respond to clients and respond as me and do all these things. It's weird, but I need to celebrate it, and I need to celebrate her. So even something, which actually that's kind of a big win. But even if it's cleaning up your desk, celebrate it. So be kind to yourself, because we do try to wear lots of hats as entrepreneurs, as business owners. And so even the smallest little win is worth celebrating. Number 6 is track and measure your successes. And so, track the people that you are talking to, track how many people you're reaching out to, track those conversations, measure your closing ratio, measure your conversion ratio. All of these things are so needed in order to really cope with that imposter syndrome. It'll come into your head much less when you have a really great grasp of your own successes. And so figure out what those KPIs are for you. What are the important KPIs that you need to measure, and really work on tracking those. And it just isn't, it's not just about, you know, business, but even in your personal life. Number 7 is talk about how you're feeling when you are feeling that imposter syndrome. Talk about it with a coach, with a mentor. If you work for somebody, talk about it with your manager. They're going to help you talk the things through and give you a more objective point of view. Because if you're only dealing with it on your own by yourself, you're not really helping yourself, right? Because you're, I mean, you're working through that on your own, but you need somebody from the outside to give you that other perspective, and also somebody that has also experienced it. That's really important. Number 8 is, here's a big one. And actually, I did a post not too long ago. I think it was on my personal profile about all of the yeses to new opportunities that I've been saying yes to this year already. And we're already in month 4 of the year, right? So saying yes to working with a coach, saying yes to maybe have somebody go into your financials and or your business financials and really, you know, figure out your cash flow. Saying yes to hiring an assistant. Saying yes to, it's okay that I don't know how to do this. I need somebody else to do it that knows how to do it so I can get back to doing the things that I really know how to do. Saying yes to a coaching program, maybe like mine, where you actually will work with an expert. You can go in and ask questions because we don't know everything as to how to navigate our business as entrepreneurs. We need that outside help. Saying yes to going live on Facebook or Instagram and showing up. Number 9 is embrace the feeling of that imposter syndrome, embrace it. And you know what? Use it. Use it to create a post to show people your character, to show people what you're going through, because others can also resonate with that. And that's actually one of the best conversations to have with someone back and forth on social media, is when you are just being raw and being yourself. And when that imposter syndrome really creeps up, that's a great time to actually communicate that to your audience so that they know that you are a human. You also go through these things that they go through. I will see you next Thursday, same time, 12:30 p.m. Eastern time. Until then, have a fabulous day. See you guys later.